Well, hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mohammad Badruddja, and today I'm going to solve lab number 10 from SQL injection vulnerability. This is server side vulnerability, and I'm taking this lab from Web Security Academy from Portsiger. So before going to solve the lab, this warning and disclaimer as always for you. This video and its contents are only for educational and awareness purpose, and I do not support any unethical or illegal act. That's been said, this is going to be the last lab from this section, which is examining the database, right? Examining the database in SQL injection attack. So this is the lab which I already opened, and we will see what is the agenda. So lab number 10, SQL injection attack, listing the database contents on Oracle. In the previous lab, which is lab number 9, we see listing the database content on non-Oracle databases like Microsoft SQL, MySQL and PostgreSQL, but this is for Oracle database, right? Because Oracle database contains different kind of queries with different kind of parameters to retrieve the data and columns and listing the contents. So we will see in a minute. So this analysis section, I created the same points as the previous lab. So first of all, we will test the SQL injection vulnerability exists in the particular functionality or feature or not. Then we will determine the number of columns, then data type, then we will see database type and the database version, then list of the tables and list of the columns. Then we will query to fetch the usernames and passwords, right? So the agenda of this lab is, this lab contains an SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. The result of from the query are returned in the application's response, so you can use a union attack to retrieve data from other tables. Okay, the application has a login feature or functionality, and the database contains a table that holds usernames and passwords. So we need to retrieve the usernames and passwords, and we can retrieve username and passwords by knowing the table name which contains the column username and passwords, right? So, and then we have to log in from the administrator account. Fine, so go back to the lab and I choose a category, let's say gifts. Then first of all, I'm going to test. So sorry, for testing I'm going to use single quote. This will throw us an error which said internal server error. So make comment, hit enter, and as you can see, now it's working fine. So the response is okay. From this response, from this rendered page, we can see there are two columns. One is category product name, and another one is product details, right? Maybe there are another information retrieved from the query, but it's not rendered here in this page, right? So we need to know first how many columns returned by the query, and for that I'm going to use union attack. So union select, actually union query. So union select, and let's say null, hit enter, and it's saying internal server error. Let's try another null, hit enter, again it's saying internal server error. Let's say one more null, and again it will give us internal server error. Why? Because this database is Oracle, not MySQL, PostgreSQL or Microsoft SQL. So because this is Oracle, so we need to we must mention from dual table. Now hit enter. Okay, it give us internal server error. Now increase one more column with null, hit enter, and as you can see, now it's rendering the page and didn't give us any error. That means there are two valid columns returned by this query. Fine. So this is gonna be your query to determine number of columns. The next part is determine the data type. So for data type, it's very simple. Just you need to put anything ASDF and come here. Let's say ZXCV, hit enter, and as you can see, this is the product name and this is the product details, same like here, right? So now we determine that the both columns contain data type strings. Okay, the fourth point is determine the database type and version. So because we know from this query that this database is Oracle, definitely, because from dual table does not by default not present in the MySQL or Microsoft SQL, Postgres SQL databases. So null. Okay, here I'm going to say version, hit enter, and internal server error. Why? Because Oracle uses a different parameter here. So let's say here version from instead of dual, we need to say v and dollar instance, hit enter, and now as you can see the Oracle database version is 11.2.0.2.0. fine. So take this, copy, come here, put it here, and the version of the database is this. Copy, come here, paste that here. Fine. And you can also use here like banner from v version, v dollar version, hit enter, and here you can get more details like it's Oracle core 11.2 like this. Fine. So these both queries give you the result. So copy this, and here also you can see more details are there. Oracle database 11G Express Edition release this. Fine. So I'm going to copy this, come here, and put it here. So this is the database type. Now we need to list the tables, the table name, because without knowing the table name, how you will know the column name in the particular table, and if you don't know the column name, how you will retrieve the usernames and passwords. So for this I'm gonna say union select table underscore name, right, comma, because there are two columns, null from all underscore tables, because as I mentioned before that information schema view is only exist with MySQL, Postgres SQL, fine, in the non-Oracle databases, but in Oracle database you need to mention all tables. Now hit enter, and as you can see all the tables are here. So I'm going to copy this, come here, paste that, and then we need to find out the table which contains the user names and passwords. So users, there are you can see there are 27 matches. So I'm going to see one by one. Nope. And as you can see any table which contain $, that is default table from the Oracle database. Users dollar, let's see more. This one does not contain dollar, so maybe this one. come here and put the name, table name is this. Fine. Now we need to see the columns present in this table, and for that we need to change a bit. Instead of table name, here we will say column name. So column column name, alt tab underscore columns, where table underscore name is equal to what was the table name. And keep in mind, you need to mention the table name in the single quote. So this is the table name, copy and come here, paste that table name here. So what I am going to ask, select column name and let the second column null from all table columns where the table name is user slgymf. So hit enter, and as you can see, this is the password column and this is the username column. So copy, before this actually I need to copy this from here up to here. Copy, come back, paste. There are two columns, one is username column, paste, and another one is password column. So copy, come here, paste. Fine. Now it's very simple for us to retrieve the username and password because we know the table name, the column name and everything. So come here and just instead of this column, union select, let's delete up to here, union select, and username column is this. So copy, come here, paste that column name, comma password, copy, come here, paste that from table name. So the table name is this, copy and paste that here, hit enter, and as you can see we have all the usernames and passwords. So just copy this, come here, paste all those usernames and passwords, all those credentials, come back again, and I am just going to copy this query and paste it here. Fine. So that's it, just we need to log in. So I'm going to copy the password for administrator, come back here, go to my account, administrator, and the password I'm going to paste here for the administrator. Just log in, don't save, and we solve the lab. As you can see, we are logged in as administrator, but the backend database is Oracle, not non-Oracle database. So that's it for this video. If you like the content, like, subscribe and share. See you in the next video. Bye.